never been here before. And today I'm really excited because about a week ago I actually ordered a new safety razor in the mail. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically just the same as using like a Venus Gillette or something, but it's actually not something you dispose of. So it's made of metal, so all you have to do is replace the razor blades on it. So I'm really excited, and I have never used one before, and I'm actually a little bit nervous, and I also, on top of that, I have no idea what I'm doing. So I thought it'd be fun to take this out of the box and go through it with you guys and see how it works and give you my first thoughts on it. Okay, so this parcel came in the mail today, and I'm gonna open it up and see what's inside. I don't know if you're any of these people that's like too afraid to use knives on parcels in case you know, slice it open. I'm not one of those people, and I probably should be. I'm surprised something worse hasn't happened to me, to be honest. Okay, this box is way cuter than I expected it to be. It's this nice, like light colored, unfinished wooden box. And I also appreciate, I don't know if you noticed, but the parcel itself was wrapped in paper. So super low waste, which we love to see. So I'm just gonna open it up. Looks like the top maybe just slides. Okay, the top slides out here. It's a little harder to open up than I expected it to be, but we're getting it. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. So I got the full kit. So it comes with this little shave oil. I've always just used like a pretty basic shaving cream. I think like an Aveeno one. And it comes with some backup razors that you can switch out when this needs to be switched out. There's also this little exfoliating cloth here, and then the safety razor itself. Okay, so this here is kind of the main thing. This is the safety razor itself. It's in this cute little box. I'm just gonna open that up. Oh, it's got this cute little like seal. I don't want to ruin it. Wonder if I can just slip this off. I got the little wrapping off, so let's open it up now and see what it looks like. All right, oh, instructions. We love instructions. Right. So there's already like a little razor blade in the bottom there, so I'm sure that means that there's not one that comes right in there. All right. That's so cute. I don't know if you can see that there. Okay, so this here's the razor. I decided to get the black one. You can also get it in rose gold, I believe. I like the black. It's a nice matte black finish. It's pretty simple. I really like a rose gold normally, but I just wanted to keep it pretty simple and straightforward, just because I'm hoping to keep this for a while, and I don't know if my general style will change between now and then. So I know you can get two different types when you get these safety razors. Some of them unscrew from the bottom here, some unscrew from the top. This one is one of the top unscrews. So you can see there, this has come apart in the different pieces. And then when you replace the blade, you can just screw it back together. Okay, so this little razor blade came right in the package when I bought it, but I also, in the little kit here, you can see there's also the backup pack, and this one has 5 in it. Imagine that'll last me a while. But I'm gonna put this little one that came right in there first. Just gonna take this and unscrew again. Okay, so it says that if you're just putting the first one in, you don't need to worry about this, but if you're changing out the blade, this is a really good opportunity to actually like take all these pieces apart together and actually give a full clean out of the razor itself, which I think will help with making sure it doesn't get super rusty or dirty or grungy, which will keep the blade lasting longer as well as keep it safe for you to use. And Okay, these instructions are great, but also like it's a pretty straightforward process. You can see that little diagram there that shows you just a little 4-step thing. So I'm gonna first take this out of the packaging. Ooh, sharp. Yeah, so this is the razor blade. I'm sure we've all seen razor blades before. I'm gonna take this, just attach it right in there. I think it was the other way. Ow. Oh, just cut myself. So be careful, folks. So you just take this now and you screw it right back on. Okay, I'm back with a little band-aid on. So there's a hazard to this. I'm hoping that once I actually use it, I won't be cutting myself or nicking myself. I've heard that it takes a little bit to get the hang of it, but once you actually get the hang of it, most people don't nick or cut themselves at all anymore. So here's a little comparison. This is the razor that I'm currently using. It's the Intuition with like the little soapy bar on top. I actually got like a pack of this from Costco a really long time ago, and I've just been trying to like work my way through it. It's been great because I travel quite a bit, and it's super convenient to just pack this instead of packing like a razor and shaving cream. I've still got a few cartridges left of this, so I'll probably just keep it for when I do travel so that I'm not, wasting my product and just getting rid of it. So I'll keep this for those occasions, but this one is really quite nice. It's a lot smaller, which is, really nice and convenient. I'm not sure how this is gonna go, but I feel like this grip is really nice. Like, it's nice to have the big grip in your hand. So we'll have to be careful with this. It's also the metal versus the rubber. So the rubber is easier to kind of grasp onto, whereas this is very metally and it could get really slippery. The next thing that I got with this little kit is this well-kept shave oil. And so it's not super cheap. This might be like a little bit of a luxury when I choose to get it, but I think that once in a while it'll be fun to try it out. And if it is really expensive and it's not that much, I don't know, we'll see how it goes. If it ends up being really expensive, I might just not get it ever again and just go back to using, I don't know, maybe I'll find something a bit more sustainable that's in better packaging, like a shave bar that I can use. But we'll see how this goes. I'll let you know what I think of this shave oil once I actually use it. Okay, so that's the unboxing, I guess, as you will. Only one minor injury, but this is, I guess, a true honest-to-God review. And honestly, I would just chalk that up to me trying to film while I was unboxing and putting the razor together. I'm sure if you're actually like 100% focused on it and putting it together really carefully, you won't actually notice that problem as much. So I wouldn't stress too much about this, but it only goes to show you do have to still use these with caution, even more so than you do with something like the little Intuition razor that I normally use. So anyway, I'm gonna hop in the shower, give it a try, and I will let you know how it goes. Okay, so I just got out of the shower. I washed my hair and everything, so I had to take some time to let it dry. But it was also good because I put some body lotion on my legs, and hopefully now I've got like a good idea of what it actually feels like even later, just in case any like bumps showed up and stuff. My overall thoughts are, I thought it was going to be a lot more difficult to use the safety razor. And I thought that I would have to go a lot more carefully, I guess. But it was actually very easy to use. Obviously there was I got a few minor nicks, but I think that's just getting used to using the new razor itself. And I think that that's something that with practice I'll just get better at. overall, I think I'm excited to keep using this. I don't really see a huge difference in using this versus using my old razor. Yes, it takes me a bit more time, but from what I've read, that's something that you'll actually just become more comfortable with as time goes on. So before I actually bought this safety razor, I did some research on how it's used. I watched a bunch of YouTube videos, kind of like the one I'm making now, about how to use it and if it's any good or not, and there's some things that I learned. So the first thing that I learned was to make sure, and I think this goes with any shaving product, it's not specific to this, but it was to make sure that your pores are really open and your skin is prepared for you to actually use the razor. So that meant doing like a nice warm shower, but then also exfoliating ahead of time. And I must say that's something that I was never really good at in the past, but I think it's even more important with this, just because you do have that kind of single blade. So I spent a bunch of time in the shower today just making sure my skin was very nicely exfoliated, and I think that really made a huge difference. I think my legs are a lot smoother, which I think I can just chalk up to doing that extra step, not necessarily this razor, but it might be the case. I'll have to maybe test out the other one sometime. But then after that, I used the shaving oil, and I think I could have used a little bit more. I think it's just in my nature to try to conserve product, but I think next time I'll use a lot more because I now definitely noticed a difference on my second leg that I used a little bit more and it was a little bit easier because the oil actually stayed on there a little longer and a little thicker. So that's one recommendation I have, is to make sure you use a lot of that oil. And then I saw a lot of reviews that said that you should try going with the grain first, so that's like going down your leg instead of up. And I tried that and I found that it wasn't really working for me, so I just started going against the grain like I always have with my razors, and I didn't notice a problem. Maybe it did result in a couple of nicks that I wouldn't have got if I went with the grain, but I got a closer shave. So I mean, I would recommend trying going with the grain first and seeing if it works for you, also just to try to get a feel of it, but definitely I would say going against the grain, like don't be too scared to do that. The other thing is just trying to figure out the angle, because this head, like this razor head, doesn't really shift. So with most razor heads, the head kind of like is on a rotating thing that kind of shifts as you go. So you really have to be cautious of what angle you're using on this. That's kind of a trial and error for what you personally like, because I watched so many videos trying to figure out exactly the right angle, and a lot of people said like a 30-degree angle, so something like that. So using a 30-degree angle kind of like that, and you just kind of have to tilt it and go however you want until you kind of feel that pull of the blade against your hair. But as long as you're going really slow and you're being very careful and not making any sudden shifts in your angle, you should be fine. You won't cut yourself. At least I didn't. If you do cut yourself, I'm sorry. So it's just figuring out your own angle and seeing what works for you, and it's just a trial and error process. I would definitely recommend the first time you use this, though, to shut off the water while you're doing this, or do it in the bath or something, because it definitely took me about 2 to 3 times longer than it normally does to shave because of trying to use this new product. So we like to conserve water here. Otherwise, one of my favorite things about this is that it was really easy to clean out. So you know when you're using a regular razor and it gets all like stuck with all your hair, and then trying to like rinse it out, you're like sitting there for like 20 minutes and trying to figure out the best angle to get it clean. This was really easy because even when I couldn't just rinse the hair straight out of it, I just unscrewed it just a little bit to loosen it up, and then held it a little bit so that it didn't fall apart, and like rinsed the hair through, which was really nice. So those are some of my tips that I think that you should keep in mind if you're trying to use this razor for the first time. The other thing is just go slow with it. When you change any sort of product, you have to kind of give it a chance, and I'm really excited to keep using this because I definitely think I liked it and it worked well for me, but I nicked myself a few times, and I don't normally do that. So little things like that are just going to take the time to get used to. So if you get a safety razor, give it time. That's my big thing. Use it a couple of times before you make a huge judgment call on it. I also really think this is something that is such an easy switch to make if you're looking to get rid of some of your single-use plastics. I think I mentioned this at the beginning of the video. This is from a Canadian company here called Well Kept, And they actually have a razor recycling program as well, which I might try out because I don't really know how to recycle sharps properly otherwise. So it's good to use this kind of company because they make it easier for you to continue being sustainable, disposing of your products properly, and recycling of things. And I also appreciated that even how they sent the product itself, everything was recyclable or compostable. There was no plastics in the whole shipping process whatsoever. So I really appreciate that. And I also love supporting local Canadian companies. I think it's so hard sometimes to find good Canadian alternatives to what you can buy in the US. But with that shipping and duty, it's just not worth it sometimes. So yeah, well kept. I definitely really like this razor. This is not, they didn't pay me to do this, by the way. They don't even know who I am. I just ordered this myself. But I would definitely recommend it. And if you're not in Canada, there's other similar reputable companies. I'll try to leave some links in the description below if you are looking for a good one. I've also heard you can get some cheaper ones for sure, but I have heard some good and bad things about them, so definitely check the reviews. There's a ton of videos on YouTube giving you rundowns of different products that people have used and if they're good or not. Well, thanks for watching my review, and if you like this video, I'd really appreciate it if you gave it a like, and I would also really appreciate if you subscribe to my channel. I am going to work hard to walk you through my journey to become more sustainable, and I'm going to do that by reviewing products that I get, as well as maybe giving some tips and tricks, especially when it comes to cooking and decluttering your life. So if you like any of that kind of stuff, please subscribe down to my channel. It's just below there. I'd really appreciate it. Don't let me down.